Improvements from aerobic training are often measured with VO2 max, or the rate at which your heart and lungs supply and muscles use oxygen to make aerobic energy. Since VO2 is a coordinated effort of the lungs, heart, blood vessels, and muscle fibers, then improving VO2 max requires an upgrade in all those areas, but in a balanced and coordinated manner. In this video, I'm going to cover the adaptations that occur with aerobic training that result in a higher VO2 max and greater aerobic performance. Without aerobic training, your lungs do an amazing job of putting more oxygen in the blood than your muscles need. So as your muscles increase their ability to use oxygen to make energy, they'll already find plenty of it in the bloodstream. In other words, your lungs don't get bigger and stronger with aerobic training, but the respiratory muscles that assist your lungs become more efficient at helping move air in and out of your lungs, which allows trained individuals to breathe a little deeper and easier, making the same moderate workout feel easier. It also results in trained individuals having a higher breathing frequency, particularly in their maximal efforts. But when trained individuals do push their lungs to maximal effort, they receive more blood flow, particularly to the upper portions. As a result, more blood is able to flow through the lungs and remain 98% saturated with oxygen. The big change in blood oxygen levels occurs at the muscle fibers, which are now surrounded by more capillaries on the outside and more myoglobin and mitochondria on the inside. In other words, these changes allow for more oxygen to be extracted from the blood and pulled into the muscle fibers. The result is a greater AVO2 difference, which, as the name implies, is the difference between the amount of oxygen in the arteries and the veins. Whether you're trained or untrained, the amount of oxygen in arterial blood remains the same. But as the blood flows through more capillaries past muscle fibers with more myoglobin and mitochondria, more oxygen is extracted, leaving less oxygen in the venous blood. And that results in a higher AVO2 difference, a key component of the higher VO2 max that comes with aerobic training. In addition to having more capillaries around the muscle fibers, trained individuals are able to open up more of their existing capillaries and do a better job of redistributing blood flow away from non-exercising tissues towards exercising muscles. This allows more blood to reach the exercising muscles, but with other changes to the heart and blood vessels, this isn't quite enough. So aerobic training also increases the total blood volume with its greater number of red blood cells and plasma volume. Since the increase in plasma volume is greater than it is with the red blood cells, the hematocrit or thickness of the blood decreases, making it easier for blood to flow through the expanded cardiovascular system during exercise and at rest. The added less thick blood also supports a higher blood flow per minute or cardiac output, which means pumping blood at a faster rate to the exercising muscles. But a higher cardiac output is also due to a bigger and significantly stronger heart, particularly the left ventricle. This allows for more blood to be pumped with each beat, or a greater stroke volume. A higher stroke volume during light and moderate exercise means the heart doesn't have to beat as often, so the workout feels easier. But it also means when the heart rate is pushed to its maximum, the greater stroke volume will result in a greater maximal cardiac output. That higher stroke volume, along with the previously mentioned greater AVO2 difference, are the two key contributors to a higher VO2 max. But neither of those would be as significant without the other synergistic changes to the heart, blood vessels, and muscle fibers. There's evidence that different types of aerobic training focus more on some of these adaptations than others. For example, high-intensity interval training focuses on the heart and increasing stroke volume, while the focus of endurance training are the adaptations in and around the muscle fibers that increase AVO2 difference. Therefore, optimal synergy is obtained with a diversity of training, which is another way of saying that obtaining the highest VO2 max or greatest aerobic performance requires not just high quantity but high quality of training that allows all the tissues and cells to adapt to their highest capacity that collectively allow you to reach your highest aerobic performance. As always, answers come from peer-reviewed research.